um, fuck. um, okay. So I'm not sure um where to start, but actually, I just made the commitment to stop eating. Um, so yeah. Well, earlier today, I had breakfast around 12:30, maybe around there, and I was applying myself within breath and within eating, eating not with the mind but with the body. So I made sure that there was no energy. Well, every time there was energy, or every time there was a thought, or every time I started relating to food in a way that wasn't the physical taste, texture, also sight of it being lifted into my mouth. I stopped those and I tried to bring myself back to the physical eating. Um, I did this for, well, one reason why I did that. Decided to do this today was because within breath, you sort of, or personally, I've had trouble eating while being here, and so I wanted to see what would happen. And I remember Bernard doing a video. Um, I think maybe this had to do with like history of destiny, and at one point he said how dimensional beings had a really strong sense of taste. And anyway, I just wanted one consequence of eating while being physical is you're aware of the taste, so the tastes are much more, they're there. They're instead of just the idea of eating while eating as your mind. And another thing, I'm not sure, like, this was one point I wasn't sure about, but I decided it was a mind point, that hunger, in terms of um, when I was eating today, the plate of omelet, potatoes, um, I had decided previously that the when you're eating and you get that really strong like enjoyment of eating, but in terms of hunger eating, like you want to fulfill that hunger. So, um, oh, wait, um, that I consider that a mind point because you're not really here within the mouth, within the throat, within not some. It's like the focus switches from the stomach to the mouth, basically. And I'm still like investigating this, but so far I decided for now that that hunger feeling fulfillment was an energetic point. And yeah, okay. So so today when I was walking up Woodstock to get, well, I was gonna get something to eat just because I haven't eaten the second time today, and I was walking up Woodstock, which is just the street out here, to go get something to eat. I My legs were hurting, not hurting, but there was a pain of tiredness, I guess you could say, on my upper thighs. So I decided to breathe and completely be in my body and just walk my body 100%. And there was no more pain, and I was walking rather. I wanted. I felt strong. I felt like I made it easy. I directed myself to make walking, to be able to walk. No, oh, okay, this is the point. Sorry. So I was walking slowly. You can imagine, like, I was just following the pain. Like, I felt the pain, so I said, okay, like, because of that pain, I should walk slower. So I walked slower, and then there were these two people that passed by, another person passed by, going the other direction, not my direction. And I don't know, like, what it was. Maybe I started breathing, and I pushed myself to walk a little quicker, a little quicker, a little quicker. And then I was walking at this pretty quick pace, walking in a fashion too, like where my upper thighs weren't hurting. I was like using I was rotating a bit when I was walking, and I, there was a certain style of walking that it either didn't use my thighs or my thighs were stronger, I guess. I don't know. It just, the pain wasn't there anymore. I don't have the pain anymore. Like since walking out back, and so it's unclear whether it was because I entered my body and therefore I started walking the most efficient way, and I didn't. And there was a pushing. That was the point. I think it was a quicker pushing, and I had I was in yeah I had this feeling, you could say, that I was or that I'm able to have this impression from what I did that the physical previously had thought like that the body is capable of anything, and this is from a few personal observations of stories, you could say, stories from stories I've heard, and so I was wondering, I was having this thought, I guess, or just expressing, I'm not sure right now, that like I could go go there are no limits for the physical, that the physical can adjust for anything, that the physical is responsible for everything, that I'm able to walk like, oh yeah, and this, okay, that had this memory that was associated, um, that the pain you experience of the body, I guess at least one kind of pain, maybe it's the most pain that you feel when you get muscle tired. It's supposedly due to lactic acid buildup, and that's why you feel the pain of a tired muscle. And your body actually gets rid of the lactic acid buildup, and I saw this TV special about these superhumans, and one of them was this guy named the Ultra Marathon Man, who is who they tested in a lab, and whose body reduces its lactic acid buildup quicker than he produces it, and he therefore is able to run for, I forgot how many hours, but it'll be safe to say like 20 hours. He like runs all night long, all day long. So, um, so one thing I'm wondering for sure, is whether the physical body, whether I could do that, and I do think I could do that, just because he did that. And the programming would just be a reprogramming of your lactic acid buildup. And I heard stories too of like people who are really skinny who are able to like lift really heavy things, and obviously like it could be due to like the bones if you do it correctly. But um, I was wondering more like in cases of where it's not because of the bones or in the right place. Um, yeah. So I was able to breathe and direct my body. It was a complete walk through my body while walking, and I had like a moment of not sure what to do when I was walking, and there was this car in front of me, and who wanted to like turn, who was blocking the pedestrian crosswalk. Anyway, I think it was just like a customary like reaction, like a trigger, like you see the car there, so um, usually what I do is just walk around it. But this time, like I was, maybe it was because like I was walking my body through that I wasn't allowing myself to trigger. I don't know. It was just to trigger. So there was this hesitation for a moment when I was walking around the car, and I made sure like to look around completely so that no car could actually like, because the danger of walking around the car is because another car won't see you and it could come crash into you. So here's the car, you're walking behind it, and while you're walking here, when you're over here, there's a car that could enter this way. So if the car doesn't see you, it could totally hit you by accident. And yeah. So this time I looked the whole way back, and I think that was an indication of me being completely walking through my body. So, something I usually never do is like look the whole way to make sure that no car isn't in a position where they can't see me, or I'm also was in a position to see if any car wanted to turn in. So, anyway, that's another indication of, you know, being here in the body, 100%, or at least a lot. I don't know, about 100%. I didn't feel hungry. Um, I was, and I didn't finish my breakfast either. It was only like half of it, and yeah, I didn't get like yeah. So I think it could have been due to how I was eating my breakfast that either I've disrupted my connection for eating hunger, whether hunger as a mind is the only way where you could actually feel hunger, or my body only gets hungry when it actually needs to eat. But I don't know if I've ever really experienced that. So right now, I guess I'm gonna do a test and see whether my body actually needs food, if I'm able to, on a condition of being here in breath. And I expect maybe some problems when I start studying, and see whether if I start using my mind consciousness system, whether it's necessary for studying. So also physically whether I'm gonna have problems with like if I notice I'm tired or any of those things, nausea or anything whatsoever, I'm just gonna